Hello, welcome to Speak to V, where we give faith a voice through prayer, worship, and release. If you've been looking for a space to grow, to be real, or just not feel alone in your journey, you're in the right place. So, today I just wanted to take a moment to reiterate something that I said in my previous video. Now, last week I was encouraging you to not hesitate, but to go forward and do what God has placed in your heart to do, whatever it may be. Now, it's important for you to understand that you never will feel like it's the right time. You may never feel like you're ready. You may not feel ready or comfort at the thought of it, or even at the attempt of doing whatever it is He put in your heart to do. You may never feel perfect or as skilled as you'd like to be. Now, let's face it, life happens. Distractions are forever present. And I myself can give you examples of that. One being, I can remember nearly 30 years ago when God put in my heart that He was calling me to ministry. And so I was in my early 20s, and around that time, I felt like I was being wise by not jumping into it. Because around that time, I being, one that was in the congregation, and we would see different ones get up, and they that were being felt they were being called, and there were times where as congregants we felt like they weren't ready, but who are we? Yes, they may have had some growth to do, but the difference between them and myself is that they started that process, and now they have spent the last 30 years moving forward, whereas here I am 30 years later still dealing with those same struggles that I was trying to get over back then. So now here I am, and now I want to say that there was a time that I did attempt in my later 20s where I did where the pastor at that time that I was speaking to, I was letting them know that I believed that that I had a call on my life, and much to my surprise, he quickly scheduled a trial sermon for me. So I didn't expect it to go quite like that, but it needs to say it happened, and it was a small congregation. So at first even though I was a little bit nervous about how fast things were moving, I was like, well, you know what? I had pretty much chalked it up to be, well, you know what? I'm in front of, this group on Sundays doing praise and worship. Surely it wouldn't be that much of a difference, the same crowd. But someone who loved me dearly and was excited about this happening in my life, this event happening in my life, began to tell others, family members, friends, and whoever, and the word spread. And the next thing you know, even though I had not told anyone, at the day of my trial sermon, it was a packed house. So now here I am. What was just a little bit of nervousness turned out to be all kinds of anxiety and fear of judgment and not feeling skilled enough or ready enough at that moment, and so many other feelings and emotions that I was going through that I probably can't even think of the word to name. So I was feeling all these things, and even though I had spent time studying, even though I had felt the Spirit of God while I was studying, and I was so excited and believing that, oh man, God is going to really move, and it was going to be this great experience. It turned out to be not what I thought it was going to be. It turned out to where, the anxiety and everything I allowed to grip me, so to the point where when I got up, I read my scripture and I, said something, but these emotions and my train of thought was so distracted that I just simply ended my sermon well before saying everything that I wanted to be able to say. And it wasn't to that, like, it was over with. I remember, like, oh, I forgot to say this, and oh, I meant to say that, but by that time the service was over and that moment had passed. So in that time of my life, I allowed the trauma of getting up again. I allowed that to hinder me from being and continuing to move forward. And so even after my transitions of moving to other churches, I found myself that I did not allow myself to share that information with pastors or anyone because I didn't want to be put in front of the church. So here's the thing. It's now nearly 27 years later, and I'm finally accepting the very thing that I expressed to you just now. Um, Now, you can choose to go through the process now while you're young, while you're feeling unskilled, while you don't feel comfortable and have it all together. Or you could put it off like I did. But the fact of the matter is that that feeling may never go away. You have to step out in faith, take that leap, trust God, trust the process. He's not going to lead you in anything that, in any area that, you know, he knows everything that's going to happen before it happens. So trust him. Another example I can give you regarding distractions. After posting my last video last week, I was blessed to see the video with Pastor Sarah Jakes Robert interviewing Tim Ross in her podcast. That video was such a blessing. It even gives me the strength to be able to do this because they were saying a lot of some things in connection to that what I'm sharing with you today that reminded me of that testimony. So that's why and even then I was supposed to uh, I was inspired and felt to put this video that I'm making now on last week. But then what happened? I allowed family moments to intervene, take precedence. And so that just lets you know things happen. So here I am today, a week later, putting forth this video. But I just want to let you know that, like I said, distractions are going to happen, things are going to happen. But don't allow it to hinder you. So I just want to encourage you to stop hesitating again. Take that leap with me and let's obey and do what God has called us to do. So just release your fears, release those images of failure, let them go, and do what God has put in your heart and your mind to do. And I'd love it if we can take this journey together. If this resonated with you in any way, then please in the comments type in leap, and I'd love to hear your story and pray with you. If you want to please share with me anything that you may feel that you're getting ready to step out and do. So as I mentioned before, in the last video, I'll be sharing resources with you. So in this video, in the description for this video, what I'll do is I'll share the link for Pastor Sarah's podcast that she did last week. I have a habit of calling her Pastor Sarah because I am a member of the Potter's House of Dallas. So both she and Pastor Tori are co-senior pastors. So if you don't have a church home, I would also like to invite you once again to come and join us, whether it's by virtual or in person. If you haven't figured it out by now, that I love my church, I love the ministry. They have not asked me to do this. This is just something I felt led, and I feel that God wanted me to do and placed in my heart to do. So anyway, thanks for sharing this moment with me, and until next time, be blessed.